Today we're focusing on the unfolding situation in Benin Republic, where recent military intervention by ECOWAS has stirred intense debate across the region. Now, the move, according to officials, was aimed at restoring order and curbing escalating security threats. But the intervention has raised critical questions. Is military action the best way to handle crisis in civilian settings? Could it escalate tensions further? And how does it affect the trust people place in governments and regional security institutions? We want to hear directly from you, our viewers. Do you support the military stepping in to manage the situation in Benin Republic, or do you believe there are alternative approaches that should be prioritized first? Call in, share your perspective, and explain why you hold that view. Your contributions will help shape today's conversation as our analysts break down the implications of the intervention for security, governance, and regional stability. The phone numbers will be displayed right on your screen. Make sure you call us in or send us a WhatsApp message and share your thoughts. Now, at this moment, Maimuna, looking at this intervention. Now, yesterday, the Senate read a letter from the president, requesting for the approval or confirmation to send or deploy the military to Benin Republic. But the military has already been sent to Benin Republic to douse the tension there. And a lot would say, why was there no prior confirmation from the military? And others would say that it was something of an emergency. That was why the president gave a direct order exactly for that to happen. In other words, Nigerians would say, why would the president send that military intervention? But in another hand, it is quite important, as said earlier, to stabilize a country, to stabilize the democracy of Benin Republic, as well as that being in the interest of Nigeria's national security. But what are your thoughts on that? And I'm actually waiting in anticipation to hear from our callers, absolutely, if they think that is the right move.
I think we had this conversation yesterday.
Absolutely.
Not on the show, like outside the show. Yes, you drew my attention to that when you saw, the reports. But then when you look at this Benin military issue and what have you, Nigeria says is acted under ECOWAS security protocols, and now this allows joint operations when a member state faces threat and could spill across borders. Now, the government also argued that instability in Benin could also affect Nigeria directly, especially along the shared corridors where smuggling and armed groups operate. But then the question still remains, and Nigerians will always ask, excuse me, why not fortify your borders and, cut down the cost of sending down the military to Benin? Because at this point in Nigeria, we're facing a whole lot of issues. We have our insecurity issues. We're trying to struggle with our economy and a whole lot of things. So it makes sense. Critics and Nigerians are saying that it makes sense for you to, enforce more security
and fortify the borders.
Fortify the borders. Since we share borders with Benin, it makes more sense. Why not, deploy those troops to communities within Nigeria that are facing, insecurity issues, and at any day and any time we could wake up in the morning and start hearing a kidnap here, bandits invading communities, and a whole lot. So. But this particular issue raises a lot of criticism from Nigerians and from critics, because at this point, like I earlier stated, we have a whole lot in front of us, and we need to pay attention to our problems before we can be able to,
take care of other people's
issues as well. So,
looking at this, there are lots of questions that have been posed. Now, at this point, we know that there are other member states of the ECOWAS that have gone through a coup, and they would say that Nigeria is one of the countries and it shares a border with Nigeria. So why was there no immediate intervention sent to Niger Republic? Well, let's take our first caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for joining us. I believe this is Tony Eze.
Tony Eze from Benue State.
Good morning, Tony Eze. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Thank you so much. I think, to me, I support what they are saying. Because it's like West Africa. Military wants to take over all the West Africa. And in case of Nigeria, what we have in Nigeria is not the situation that we have in Nigeria that Nigerian military cannot do with it. But the problem we have in Nigeria is that the leaders don't have the will to deal with it. The will is not there. If the will is there as a leader, the place of Nigeria by now is supposed to be over. But the truth of the matter is that within the system there is sabotage within the system, and the leaders are not ready to deal with those sabotage. So for what they have done in Benin Republic is good, and Nigeria has been doing it. In ECOMOG, Nigeria has been doing in front of ECOMOG, settling some cases in West Africa and in other Africa. So it's not first time that this thing happens. What they have done now is what, as a big brother, we're supposed to do. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you very much, Tony Eze.
You know, looking at what has happened so far from, I would say, since 2020, we've had a couple of countries that have gone through a coup. We've had Mali, who had 2 coups actually in August 2020 and May 2021. Absolutely. We've had Burkina Faso. 2 coups as well in January and September of 2022, and Guinea as well 2021. We've had Niger in July 2023, as well as Guinea-Bissau just of recent. It would have happened successfully in Benin Republic had it been Nigeria did not bring in that intervention and down that tension.
Yes, we have.
But let's take
we have Shetima Yakudima on the line. Good morning, Shetima.
Good morning, Maimuna. Good morning, Hauwa. Good morning, Trust TV. Good morning, Nigeria. This is Shetima Yakudima calling from Maiduguri.
Good morning, Shetima. Thank you for joining in. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Well, you see, honestly speaking, military intervention in Benin become necessary. Why? Because we are members of the ECOWAS, and also we are active members. There is no way the house of your neighbor will catch fire without giving an assistance. We must do. There is nothing we can do. But honestly speaking, as you have been saying in your opening remark, that borders issue have to be intact. Yesterday I was saying this when I was caught. Borders issue have to be intact. We have to make sure that our borders have been intact so that we should not allow any ammunition to come in. And undesirable elements, they should be kept. We know we have brothers in Benin. We have large concentration of Nigerians in Benin. We have to go there and give them assistance and rescue them out. Even though our house too was on fire. So we have to face the 2 challenges. So we have to be a little bit to the left, little bit to the right, so that we can strike a balance. But going there to say that we will not be there, it will not be possible. Why? Because we have already signed a covenant with ECOWAS that anything that they require our assistance we will render. As the way when we are in trouble, we will ask for their assistance. So we must strike a balance. But even though our own crisis is more of politics, nobody can dispute that. It's more of politics than reality. So in this politics issue, we thank God now, the politicians have started regaining sense. So that they should know if by playing with this thing, it will consume them. So that's the reason why now they have regained sense. They have been pushing with all sincerity. So we are hoping and praying our own will be over within some period of time. By God's willing, inshallah, we will see relief. But our brothers in Benin, we must assist them, honestly speaking. We must assist them because we are brothers keepers. Right from the word go, they know Nigeria, they have played a very vital role in all this issue of crisis. So it is very unfortunate that we have unactive politicians nowadays. Our own house become something else. But inshallah, the peace of Nigeria will be restored. Thank you so much and have a nice day.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Shetima,
much,
for calling
Shetima.
in. And, when you look at this issue two-sided, like we're talking about, a lot of people have different opinions and perspective concerning this. And some people have said that, oh, it is a good move. It's a right step by the president. It shows that he's acknowledging the fact that Nigeria has a whole lot of problems going on for the country, and if sending down the military to Benin to help us stabilize the crisis that is going on, and being that we share border with this neighboring country, it is only
could spill over
exactly
as well.
that could spill over,
Right.
to in
Before we
Nigeria. But then we
continue,
have
let's
another
take
caller on the
another
line.
call.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Muhammad Sahabi. I'm calling you from Abuja.
Thank you for calling
Thank you for calling in. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes, my thought is that Nigeria has no any right whatsoever to be intervening in another country's affairs. I read the ECOWAS protocol. I didn't see any right for Nigeria to intervene in a Benin Republic. The government that invited military intervention in Benin Republic is no longer or was no longer in power. The government has been removed already, but somehow, somewhere, the minister was able to communicate with the Nigerian government to bring a rescue operation to them. By the way, we in Africa, we that were born in the 60s, we have seen the military system and the civilian system of government. From 1999 to date, what do you see in Nigeria as your country? Nothing. Corruption, recycling of their sons, children in power. A single refinery was not built. Not a single highway. Sokoto to Lagos. Abuja to Lagos. Abuja to Port Harcourt. No single way. Even the so-called Abuja-Kaduna Express, nothing. Our electrical system, in any way, I don't support Nigeria to be intervening in any country. They should make our country better first. Otherwise, they should wait for their own turn. That's my take. Thank you, and have a nice day ahead.
Thank you for
very
calling
much
in and
for
sharing
that.
your thoughts.
Now, looking at it, a lot are saying that Nigeria has always, offered or pushed
Being a
forward
big
their
brother to
exactly,
other
or
African
given
countries.
intervention when needed. But it is right to look at it and understand, was it the right move according to the book when it came to offering that kind of intervention to a state that has been overtaken or taken over by the military. All right, but
then we
let's
have
take
another
our
caller
next
on the
caller.
line. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good,
Hauwa.
yes, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Morning, my lovely sister.
Good morning, Abba Senkon. Thank you for calling in.
Sincerely speaking, I want to appreciate Trust TV. Going to the topic of the day, instauration is an offense. Instauration, wanting to overthrow the government of the day, is a serious offense, and it's a capital punishment, death. So once that is applied, they need to be executed. Now, what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that Nigeria has the ability, the propensity to act, because once that happens in that neighboring country, it will affect us. Our soldiers too, we start eyeing that seat. And I want us to understand that the worst civilian regime is better than the best military regime. The best military regime, the worst civilian regime. And the civilian regime, they have their own mechanism. If President Tinubu is not doing the right thing, the House of Assembly, the finance is there. To do what? To push him out. That is where that office is. But now, I've listened to a lot of callers. Sincerely speaking, why is America a global police today? So they checkmate everything that is happening in the universe. That is how Nigeria has the ability to checkmate what is happening in Africa and every other place. That is why in Liberia, Nigeria were there. In Soweto, Nigeria were there. In South Africa, Nigerians were there. So we have that ability to ensure that life and property is preserved. Thank you, Trust TV. Thank you, Nigeria. I really appreciate Trust TV for updating us. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you very much,
for calling in and
Abasinko.
sharing your thoughts.
Now, looking at the ECOWAS protocol when it comes to intervention in these kind of situations, in practice, military action is often considered a last resort, you know, after diplomatic and economic sanctions. So that means it doesn't necessarily, there shouldn't necessarily be an intervention when that is happening. But there could be diplomatic and economic sanctions, and the deployment of military is a last resort. Now, at this point, the recent deployment to Benin, you know, is in protocol, but at the end of the day, a lot has to be gone through before you get to that point.
Absolutely. So I like the fact that, you know, people are seeing this issue in a different perspective. It's very interesting, because a lot of people would, you know, see it and tell you that, okay, it's a good move because, of course, we share borders with them, and, you know, Nigeria is in the right stand to intervene in, you know, in West African countries when there are issues. But then the question still remains that at this time, is that intervention really necessary, being that we know that, you know, they can, you know, carry out that act. But at this particular point in time that we're in this country, is it only right to do that, being that we also have our own issues?
Absolutely.
But then we have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling in. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
God bless Nigeria. God bless Trust TV.
Thank you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I want to ask a question.
What's your name and where are you calling from, please?
My name is Mike. I'm calling from Makodi.
All right.
Benue State.
Go ahead, Mike.
Okay. You see, I listen to, well, I wouldn't want to refer to, for those of us who have come of age, we have witnessed both the military and the civilian to a large extent. Somebody just says the best form of military is not better than that of the democracy. I don't think it's true. It depends on the perspective you are looking at it from. Now, looking at the issue of Benin Republic, if actually would Nigeria have that strength, that power to invade Benin, what happened to Niger Republic? Don't we have brethren in Niger Republic when that of Niger happened? Why did they go to attack to fight in Niger? We have a common border with Niger. So there is an allegation, quote and unquote, from those in government that most of the arms used to terrorize our brothers up north are from Libya to Niger to Nigeria. So what happened to that of Niger? Why did they go? Niger is part of West Africa. You see, and the question I wanted to ask is, there was a case of, they said there was a coup, they said there was no coup. Those that were arrested, allegedly, the spokesman, that is Bayo Adanuga, said it was not a coup. Why were those military officers arrested, and what happened with their case? What is happening to their case? We should know why they were arrested. You say it was for, according to the government, that they failed promotion or whatsoever, or indiscipline. What has happened to the case? We are Nigerians, we are just a kind of people that something will happen if you get a natural death like that. So for me, I don't support Nigeria going to intervene in Benin Republic. If actually we are shouting sovereignty, and now we are making reference to West African Treaty, what happened to, just as Hauwa said, we have a treaty, the United Nations Treaty that Nigeria is signatory to. Why are we afraid that America should not come and fight terrorists in Nigeria? Thank you. God bless you. If you can give me these answers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling in and sharing your thoughts. The phone lines are still open and the numbers are displayed on your screen. You can call us in this morning to share your thoughts, and you can also send us a WhatsApp message. We're asking about the military intervention, that is Nigerian military intervention. Is it the solution to the issues happening in Benin? And is it a right move by the Nigerian government? But then we have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling in. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Maimuna. Good morning, Hauwa. You are on to SMB calling from Lagos.
Good morning, SMB.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. As usual, let me quickly appreciate Trust TV for giving us this ample opportunity. Thank you once again. To my own understanding, you see, going by the ECOWAS protocol, like Hauwa made mention, military action is the last option. Like I said yesterday, when you look at the antecedent of Nigerian participation in peacekeeping mission and some countries who experience coup and so on and so forth, you will understand that Nigeria has the capability to do this, especially this issue of this intervention has to do with the ECOWAS, efforts. So remember, Mr. President, as a Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federation, has no right or whatsoever on his own will to send military to any other country. It has to go through process. The process has to do with the National Assembly. So he got the approval through the National Assembly. And that the same thing happened, if you can remember, during the Niger coup. There is no how Mr. President he tried all his best to see the military intervention in Niger Republic, but the National Assembly doesn't approve that to him. So these are the difference. While this one, the National Assembly approved to him. I remember we're sharing borders. So look at what happened in Libya. The late Mr. President Buhari made mention that all the small arms and ammunition were coming from Libya. Are we just going to wait and see a similar thing happens to our Benin border? No, it doesn't work that way. So the intervention, I think it's a very good initiative, but the issue now is the framework, the format that we're going to apply. So these are the things that Nigerians need to ask for how long the intervention will last. That's number one. Secondly, in what format they are going to, the mode of operandi, how they're going to happen. So I think we should understand the nature of the national diplomatic issues and this ECOWAS protocol and so on and so forth. I think that's my point on this. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best.
Thank you,
Thank you very much,
for calling in.
for that. All right, we have a couple of WhatsApp messages. The first one is from Nandi Betty from Okojan. It says, good morning, Trust TV. As long as our military has not been able to quell the raging terrorism in Nigeria, I consider it unreasonable to deploy our troops to Benin Republic for whatever reason. Thank you very much, Nandi Betty, for that.
We have another message from Michael, and he's sending this one in from Bauchi. He says it's essential to consider multiple perspectives on this issue. Now, some view Nigerians' action as a necessary measure to protect democracy, while others raise concerns about the potential precedent for future interventions and the need for careful consideration of sovereignty and international law.
All right, next up we have a message from Sheriff Muhammad Siambola from Jigawa State, and he says, one angle we rarely talk about is the economic ripple effect of political instability in a neighboring ECOWAS country. Benin is one of Nigeria's closest trading gateways. From cross-border markets to transport corridors, any disruption there quietly affects prices, supply routes, and even small traders who depend on that daily movement. So Nigeria stepping in isn't only about politics, it's about protecting the economic heartbeat that connects millions of people on both sides. Sometimes these interventions look political, but on the ground, they're actually about shielding ordinary citizens from shocks they might not see coming until it hits their pockets. Thank you very much, Sheriff Muhammad Siambola.
Okay, we have another message from Temitope. He says, good morning, I am Temitope Kayode from Kogi State, Yagba West. Precisely. I think Nigeria actions at Benin Republic shows and applaud praise with the quick response to the situation there. And it also shows that we are having the equipment, but it's really sad on the other hand that so many Nigerians are dying every day and are being put into captivity by the so-called bandits without any solid solutions. I think it's high time our government sit tight to remove the plague of wood in their eye before removing the death in the other people's eye cause of their personal interest. Thank you, Temitope, for sending in your message.
All right, next up, we have a message from Adamu Muhammad Usman from Kapang Hausa in Jigawa State as well. And he says, good morning, Nigeria, and good morning, Africa. The primary and main reason that made military to be invented or established is to protect or defend. It is good for defending a democratic elected government in the African continent by Nigeria, because Nigeria is the giant of Africa and it has been assisting African countries right before now. I concur with military intervention in Benin Republic. This still reminds me of the late General Sani Abacha's formula of assisting some African countries, then with military intervention in Liberia, Sierra Leone, etc. Even South Africa was assisted then during its crisis many years back. Please let Nigeria continue offering support to African countries. Thank you very much, Adamu Muhammad Usman.
Okay, next up we have another message from Usuman Santuraki from Jimeta Yola. And it says, good morning, Hauwa and co-host of Daybreak. On the topic of today, I do not support the intervention of Nigeria over the coup in Benin Republic. And my reasons are not far-fetched, as there is common saying that the person who lives in a room knows where it's leaking. Therefore, the soldiers who plotted the coup know what is wrong in the country with the current president in the saddle and trying to oust him before his final tenure expires next year. This country has competing myriad of problems that they are yet to prove that the present leadership is capable of solving the problems topmost, the prevailing insecurity all over the country. As such, I'm not in support of Nigeria's intervention in Benin Republic. Have a nice day. Thank you, Usman Santuraki from Jamaica Yola, for sending in your message.
All right, we have a caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Hauwa. Good morning, Maimuna.
Good morning,
Ade. Thank you for joining us. We have Ade from London.
Yes. I've been trying to get you, but thank God I got you now.
Yes.
Thank you.
Number one, we have submitted our mandate to National Assembly, and they have approved within 1 hour. No dissenting voice at all. So that's number one. So legally, government is right. Number two, people are comparing Niger. People in National Assembly did not want the president to intervene because of the pressure they are having from so powerful Nigeria in Niger. Because they have their businesses there, they have houses there, like the analysis to us on another TV. So they do business in Niger. Some people can even sleep in Niger in the night and come back. So they don't want their business to be affected. So the federal government hand is tied when it comes to Niger. You can imagine the past president, the next one. He even construct a railway line to Niger. That's the only place they not to be but to Niger. So let's forget about Niger. So Niger, they can't, that one is political. Now, thirdly, people are talking of military. When Nigeria gained independence in 1960, I was in primary school. We served us plastic plates, cup. we were happy. We were seeing that everybody was happy. We never knew that something like this could happen. You know, as young children then. The military, the meaning of military rule is that you don't have a voice. Your opinion does not matter. You don't even exist. Few people will just decide your fate and decide it out. If you talk, you are in trouble. And people are at this age advocating for military rule. It's shocking to me. In this civilized world. So, I've said it before. No matter how bad a democracy is, go and bring the best military. Even if they take your wife, you can't talk. We have witnessed it now. I'm old enough. I've seen many things. You can't talk. You keep quiet. So I agree with one of the callers that said corruption. Yes, corruption is affecting us in Nigeria. Seriously, Emefiele is still in the court. Malami is detained in the FCC. Go and read the humongous millions of dollars they are taking for. You see the allegedly allegation they laid against him. I was happy when they said they arrested because I've been longing for this. Because I know what is going on there. Somebody got a list of 400 sponsors of terrorists, refused to probe them. And now we answer the question. The former general from Kano, 100 billion, over 100 billion. The court gave that, okay, you want to make the submitted list integrity, and they gave him chieftaincy title. So Nigeria is richer than United Kingdom. I'm telling you now. We don't have anything here, it's only tax. But look at what we have in Nigeria. But because of the corruption is what is affecting us, that making it look like government is not doing anything. How can nothing is happening? How can you say nothing is happening when things are happening? So expatriates are coming to Nigeria, they are making money, they are doing it. In China, they executed one of the top people there in government because of $20 million bribe. They executed one man yesterday. In China, it's on news everywhere. But we just pronounce corruption. Until we kill corruption, it will affect us. And just pray for the new generation now. So that God will just take care and give us good leader in Nigeria. Give us people that fear God in Nigeria. God bless Nigeria. Good morning. Enjoy your meeting.
Thank you very much,
Thank you, Adi, for calling in.
Now, looking at it with all these countries in West Africa, that some of them have been expelled from ECOWAS, just like Nigeria, just like Burkina Faso as well. But looking at it, some might say, a lot are saying that at this point, why would you want a military regime or a military rule? Some would want a democratic government better, but others would look and say these countries are going through a military regime at this point. The coup has happened and things are going on in the country, and one might say that they were better off, or they are better off at this point than it was before. But looking at our topic at hand, it is quite important to understand that on one hand, it is important to cement and solidify the borders that we do have. It is important to make sure that our neighboring country is in tip-top shape when it comes to the democracy as well, which it ripples politically as well as economically directly into Nigeria as well. But let's
we have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling in. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Hello, good morning. All right, can you please turn down the volume of your TV set so we can hear you clearly?
Good morning, Trust TV.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Can you please turn down the audio of your TV set, please? We can hear ourselves. Can you turn down the audio of your TV set, please? So we can hear you clearly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, my name is Dr. Martins. I'm coming from Benin State.
Thank you for calling in.
Go ahead with your thoughts.
My own opinion is the sending Nigerian soldiers to Benin Republic is not Nigerian solution. Our own problem is solve our insecurity problem in our state.
in our country. That is our problem. Nobody is going to farm now. Like we in Benin State now, we are dying every day. Nobody is going to farm. Hunger is everywhere. Hunger is everywhere. Only hunger is killing people. Nobody is going to farm. That is our problem. I'm free to Mr. President to come to our aid to save us in this situation, not sending our soldiers to Benin Republic. Our problem is to solve our insecurity problem. Thank you, Trust TV.
Thank you for calling in and sharing your thoughts. You know, with this issue of the Benin issue and the Nigeria intervening, I mean, a lot of people are asking questions as to if the Nigerian Senate can be able to approve a letter within 1 hour from the president asking for the permission based on the appropriate rules and standard that the president needs to follow before sending the military troops down there to Benin to help with the issue going on. If the Nigerian Senate can sit down in 1 hour and, you know,
deliberate and
come to a conclusion, you know, it keeps pricking my mind. Making you
wonder why it takes so much to deliberate on other issues.
Yes, in other issues that we have here facing us in Nigeria. I mean, looking at our universities are still there. ASUL is still dragging the federal government. Doctors are still dragging the federal government. A whole lot of issues. We're not even looking at the so many issues.
So let's take our
let's take our next caller.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, thank you for joining us. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Charles and I'm calling from Lagos.
Good
morning, Hauwa, and then Maimuna.
Good morning. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, my take on this military intervention is very, very, very simple. We know we have a very capable military. And I don't see any reason why we should be having so small a crisis like this, insurgency, banditry, and all that, and we could not do that. I was even in the know of how we went to Liberia. I know a soldier that went there to Liberia during Liberia. The land that we didn't know. We went there, we conquered. The land that we did not know, such as this war they are making. The land that we didn't know, we went to Liberia and we conquered. How is it that in our own country that the soldiers and everybody will know this country very well, we say we can fight security in Nigeria. And these people, they are not good. They are human beings. We are looking at this, insecurity, the way these people fight. There's no way they tell me anything about this thing, because Nigerian soldiers are one of the best soldiers in the world. You cannot tell me that because of the insecurity in a different dimension, it can.
Okay, we lost that caller. At some point, his audio was not.
But make sure you do call us back. It was a little inaudible for us here. Make sure you call us in so we can hear your thoughts and opinions. We're still on the matter, military intervention in Benin Republic. Do you think it is the right thing? We'd like to hear from you. Numbers are still displayed on your screen. Send us a WhatsApp message or call us in. All right, we have another caller. Hello, good morning.
Trust TV.
Yes, good morning. Thank you.
How is family?
Fine, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. What is your name? What is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Jack from Benin State.
All right, thank you for calling. Go ahead.
Like this, Benin Republic of 18. I do not support this military intervention in Benin Republic. We have our own problem in Nigeria here that we have not solved. And still, the president of this country went ahead, sending soldiers. Why did they not send the soldiers go to Sabisa Forest when they fight Boko Haram and all those things? So this country is only God that help us. And my next coming to this world, I will not be in Nigeria again because this country is a state country. But may God help us. That's all my problem. That's all my idea about it. I will not be in Nigeria again. God forbid that.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you for calling in. I mean, Nigeria is a beautiful country. I'm super proud to be a Nigerian.
It's quite important to understand and be proud of your country, be patriotic as well. If we do not have that love for our country, how can we put it forth? And at the end of the day, I always say we have to be the change we want to see in the world. So we have to, each and every one of us, make sure that we make Nigeria a better Nigeria.
Absolutely. We have another caller on the line.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Morning,
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Well, very well, but please kindly turn down the audio of your TV set so we can hear you clearly.
I've done that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. What is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Benjamin from Benin State.
All right, Benjamin, go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes, I appreciate all the comments made by the scholars. All callers, but one comment that baffles me, one of the callers said.
Okay,
we can still
hear absolutely. And as the rule of engagement, please turn down the audio of your TV set so we can hear you clearly. I mean, the reason why you're calling is for you to share your thought. But then if we can hear ourselves at the background, it's not going to be a clear conversation. But I think we just have to let that call go. Please call back.
Absolutely. So we can call us back so that we can hear from you. And at this moment, looking at this particular issue, we've heard different perspectives, different opinions when it comes to the effects of this attempted coup politically, when it comes to the effects, when it comes to economically. We have Nigerians as well in diaspora that live in Benin Republic as well, and businesses. And it's quite important. Someone highlighted that Nigeria shares a very critical border with Benin Republic, and Nigerians and Beninites conduct
businesses with them.
Exactly. Business with Nigeria, and it's very, very important to still continue to cement that relationship, to prosper the economy as well. Let's take our next caller.
Yes.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you for joining us. What is your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Ismail calling from Nigeria.
Right,
good morning, Ismail.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. To be very candid with ourselves, it's so laughable to see that Nigeria government is sending our troops to Benin. Well, it's a welcome idea, but it's quite unfortunate. Your house, your own roof is on fire. You are unable to quench it. You are there helping others. It's not about you to help them, but let's focus on our own problem. If you come to our own part of the country here, in Niger, every day we see the bandits. A lot of people saw the bandits flying in 100 in our forest. When I said in 100, they are flying in 100. What? And we are one of the home of Tokeno in Nigeria. If we can send our aircraft at least to fall a coup attempt in Benin, what can't we use the same measure to bring down the insecurity in our own country? Why can't we use the same method? As I'm talking to you, we have some of our prominent people. One is a lawyer, and one is a former chairman of the local government. As I'm talking to you now, this is that 73 days in captivity. 73 days. They are being kidnapped along Mokwa, tending to Mokwa Road. A ransom of 70 million was paid. They refused to release them. 70 million was paid, and they refused to release them. As I'm talking to you now, this is at 75 days. So are we acting ourselves for crying out loud? This is one of those numbers of people in captivity now. Only God knows. We have all it takes to bring this insecurity to end. But why are we not doing enough? Why is our government not doing enough? We have one of the best military as far as Africa is concerned. We fought in Liberia. We built peace in Liberia, in Sudan, in Syria alone. A forest our soldiers do not know. Not even talk of the forest that they are being trained. Why are we doing this to ourselves for crying out loud? I pray God should bring someone who is going to rescue this country out of this mess we are in. May God bless First TV. May God bless Nigeria as a whole.
Thank you, Ismail, for calling in and sharing your thoughts. And Hauwa, when you look at this issue, some of the people would say that, or rather critics will argue that when you look at another critical point that we need to look at is timing. Because if you look at the West African region, it is already dealing with, the rising coup, the insurgent activities, and also political tension. So any military action, even if the intentions are, for the betterment of the country and for the stability, it draws, a very big attention to that particular country. But then let's take our next caller. Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling in. What's your name and where are you calling from?
So, if you are to be strong enough to defend our neighbor country.
Please, what is your name and where are you calling from? Hello? Hello, please, what is your name and where are you calling from?
All his neighbor, they are neighbor enemy. So then they keep on pushing back, defending their territory and their border to secure their own country.
Right, I think we lost that caller. Please, when you're calling in for the first time, please kindly state your name and where you're calling from so that we can be able to identify with you. But then we have another caller.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Maimuna.
Yes, thank you for joining us. What is your name and where are you
calling Daniel calling from Jalingo.
Good morning,
Thank you for calling in, Daniel. Go ahead.
Yes. Sending our troops to Benin Republic, to me, is a wrong idea. The first step is correct, but the second step is a wrong step. How? Is Benin at war? You only send troops out when the country needs help, when the government of that country is at war with rebels. Like case of Sierra Leone, Liberia, Congo in 60s, excuse me, and others. But the situation on ground now, I don't think it requires ground troops from Nigeria to support them there. It's all about coup. Yes, the coup has been faulted, which is correct. We have just as other scholars say, we have our internal problem, which the soldiers are not enough. That guy just dropped call, mention of somebody. In my site, from Okari to Takum in Taraba State, once it's 5 o'clock, it's no good area. That is the truth, presently. Although the CEO in Adabarak in Takum is doing his best there to make sure that he flushed the bandits out of the bushes there. But the truth is that we don't have enough troops. Talk more of sending them out. That responsibility is supposed to be given to ECOWAS. Other countries whom are at peace presently supposed to send their troops to Benin, not Nigeria that is having our own internal security. So to me, I don't think it is the best. Those troops are supposed to be added to the ones on ground here. Let us tackle our issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that.
Daniel. This just reminded me of something. For ECOWAS, ECOWAS has a standby force, which is an intervention force as well, and it comprises of, multidimensional force comprising military, police, as well as civilian components, with personnel contributed rationally from member states. So, it's kind of a doozy, I would say, or confusing for Nigeria to be the only one to take its, military or troops and send to Benin Republic. So this would bring up a lot of questions. What happened to the ESF, which is the ECOWAS standby force, or, the intervention force that the ECOWAS does have?
Exactly. And then, some people will add to say that any military intervention, even if it's, well-intentioned, like I earlier stated, it's going to add pressure on the region. And then also international partners are now watching closely to see whether ECOWAS is shifting away from dialogue and learning how to manage its problem within the West Africa than using the military intervention at the end of the day. And then the ECOWAS would have to know what to do in terms of either strengthening its laws to see, okay, we have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, my name is Kingsley, calling you from Lagos.
Thank you for calling in, Kingsley. Kindly go ahead.
Yeah, my sister, the move was very wrong move. I felt sad when I heard that Nigeria stopped the coup last Sunday. I felt sad because Nigeria is now moving towards good direction. We are here when bandits went to school in Niger State and packed about more than 300 children. Do you know how many hours they spent there before they packed all those children? Niger State is very close to Bagudu office. Up to now, the children, some of them are still in the bush, sleeping in the bush. Rain and sun is beating them, mosquito is biting them. And Mr. President is talking about Benin Republic, how to stop them, how to send soldiers. I don't know how some people behave. I don't know how even our leaders, I don't know the kind of heart they have. If those children are their children, can they allow them to sleep even just a night in bush, inside bush, with the terrorists? Among them, there are some girls among those children, 10 years, 11 years, 9 years. What if some of those girls get pregnant for those bandits? Are they talking of that side? Now, some people are telling me they are going to Benin to secure life and property. Well, you have not secured life and property in Nigeria. You could not secure people in your country. And you are going outside to secure life and property, as they claim. Does it make sense? We saw coup in Gabon. How many Nigerians died there? How many lives were lost there? We saw coup in Chad, in Niger. How many Nigerians died? How many properties Nigeria lost there? We saw coup in Burkina Faso. Now Nigerian citizens are traveling to Burkina Faso to go and work. Some community in Nigeria can no boast of 2 hours light per day. 2 hours per day. And you are telling me we are doing well, we are giants, we are big brother. What are some people? I don't know why sometimes we listen. I don't know.
All right.
My sister, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling in and sharing your thoughts.
I want to throw out a very controversial question at this point, even though the cases might not be similar, but in a way, someone might say that there are similarities to it. We understand that Nigeria is going through a lot, and at some point, the United States of America said it's going to bring its own intervention to the country due to what is going on, the instability when it comes to insecurity, kidnappings, banditry, and all of that, as well as the allegations of a Christian genocide. And now it is Nigeria taking intervention to another country. Meanwhile, when those words were thrown at her,
we were running helter-skelter to see where,
loose. So is it a situation of a double standard, or is it that Nigeria is just putting forth its foot and just
maybe the next caller has
that answer? Let's take our next caller.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling in. What's your name and where are you calling from? Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Ahmed Baba, calling from Makodi, Benin State.
All right, thank you for calling in, Ahmed. Go ahead.
Yes, my contribution goes this way. I'm not in support of tinubu's intervention, direct intervention into another country's problem. Because just as we say that Nigeria is a sovereign country, when Trump talked about coming to Nigeria, Benin Republic is a sovereign country. I know why should Tinubu unilaterally decide to, I will call it invasion. I'll call it invasion because there are certain procedures that you should follow. I know he is doing that because of his interest. We are not against military. We are not in support of the military regime. But before for military to take over, there must be something in the. So we are having very serious problem in Nigeria. Tinubu has not been able to give direct instruction to security people to solve the problem. Look at the number of people that are, especially children that are in the bush for how many days now. Tinubu has not deemed it necessary to give instructions to the military to rescue those people. They are still playing for politics. But leaving all the sovereign in Nigeria to go and invade or to help another country, I'm not in support. But because I know he's trying to protect himself, but my advice on that is that National Assembly, those who are on authority today, should change their hearts, to change their mind the way they handle things in Nigeria. Because some of the politicians are so arrogant that they don't, they don't consider other Nigerians as human beings. Talking like a military. The way Wike and others are talking, is that the way politicians or people talk in democracy? So the politicians should lead by example. If they want Nigerians to support them, they should lead and consider Nigerians a problem. Not only their personal problem or personal interest. Now everybody, it's part of the sovereign in Nigeria. Every governor, other politicians are moving forward to APC. Doesn't mean that APC are doing well, just because they are holding other majority of Nigerians to ransom. Coming to the military, the security in Nigeria, they have given instructions people from police from the so-called DRT. Fortunately, this morning you can see that Professor Soyinka talks about the number of soldiers. That's how it is done in democracy.
All right, then thank you for calling in and sharing your thoughts. We've come to the end of this segment. Thank you to everyone who called in to give their perspective on the topic and also sending in their WhatsApp message. But the public should note that these are the views of our viewers watching and Nigerians as well.